speaking to you from beautiful Philadelphia. It's helpful for writers to recognize that one of the roles we play are as we're trying to evoke a response. When we evoke a response in the reader, this is a way that we get the reader engaged. We enhance their interest in the story. And there are different proven ways of doing this. Today, let's talk about the tearjerker. Now, we can look at all the different ways that story creators have gotten the audience to cry, and the audience loves it. The information I'm about to give to you, I got off of TV Tropes. I'll put a link below. It's a great website. Now, when I offer this information, please use it to any creative ends you may seek. But keep in mind, I'll tell you the way I would treat this information. To me, I would never just lift something from another story to use in my story. My idea is that if it's already been done, why redo it? The real joy is in trying to create something new. So I would look at these famous tearjerker elements to a story, and in order I would try to look past their surface and ask myself, why are they working? What is it? Learn something about human psychology. What are some tearjerker elements I can invent and see how well they work in my story? So it's a matter of not just finding something that works in another story, cutting it out of that story, lifting it out, and using some crazy glue and scotch tape to try to work it into your story, but to take it a step further. What about it is causing the audience to react? If you gain this new knowledge, it will inform your own creative projects. The first one is death of a frenemy who confesses that they recognize they have done the protagonist wrong all along, either right before their death or soon before their death. So you have your main character, and then you have someone who isn't the biggest enemy in the story, but one who may be on the protagonist's team and yet is cheating the protagonist, or character assassinating, or somehow doing the protagonist wrong, and rejoicing in it, has a change of heart either right before or at their point of death. This has been known to start the floodwaters going. Let's say that it's towards the end of your story and the antagonist or main enemy in your story is finally about to be conquered, and it's right before they die that the protagonist and therefore the audience are able to see the whole battle from the enemy's point of view, and to realize that they weren't intentionally doing wrong all along, but it was a battle. It's finally, the enemy is about to go down, and the protagonist is finally given the chance to spend a day in their shoes. Maybe we discover that they were protecting something that the protagonist didn't even know about. But if the enemy in their death throes are finally seen as having genuine motive, that can become a tearjerker. Or you have a story where for a short period of time it appears the protagonist or hero has been conquered, and the main enemy might start to rejoice and then suddenly feel a great loss. And if they miss something, something is missing. And when the evil main enemy is mourning the loss of the hero, the big no, this is when a character watches their entire world crumbling around them, or something so devastating that it's going to ruin them and those that they care about. And when this is happening, they cry out to the heavens, no! Or how about if you have a character who is 100% innocent? This could be a low IQ character, or someone who their only role is to care about others in the story, and they are adorable, and they aren't likely to get into fights, or they don't want much, they just want to care for the animals of the forest or some such thing. And so this innocent character, fate worse than death, everything they care about is destroyed, or their whole life is ruined to a point where they're an empty shell, where they are lost in despair and no longer anything like they were before. Or how about the kind of the opposite of this? How about the breaking of the badass? You have a character who they're just they've got a part of their character, they are ready to fight. They're usually in a positive relationship with the protagonist, but they're a bit of a troublemaker. They don't back down from a scrap. They're risk takers in an admirable way, in a way that the reader knows they're a troublemaker and still likes them, sees them as a benefit to the protagonist, to see that character get broken down, to see that character become nothing but one of the cogs in the machine, or to lose their hope to a point where they're just going to go along with what they're told to do. Or how about the reason you suck speech? This is when the antagonist or an enemy breaks the protagonist just by talking to them, telling the protagonist, giving the protagonist valid reasons why the protagonist is not really doing good, but actually has been, doing the wrong thing all along, in a very convincing way. So all of a sudden everything all turns around, and in the viewer's mind can say, yeah, I can see your point, but that's not really, I can see why that's a valid point of view, but that's not the case. But we watch the protagonist being told this, being forced to agree with that point of view, and it breaking our hero. When the beautiful creature is killed, slain, slaughtered, torn down, when you have an angel type character, or a spirit of the forest, or the one unicorn, or the one delicate, perfect, sublime creature not existing in the world of survival of the fittest, but on this other kind of reality altogether. This truly sublime entity is pulled down by the brutal, short-sighted, greedy SOBs, and in front of the hero, torn to shreds and ruined forever. Or how about crossing the point where all hope is lost? When this is done well, The reader is left wondering, did that really just happen? Did we really just cross the point where we can't hope for the situation being helped? So this is where the verdict might be that one of the characters, yes, does have fatal cancer, or the platoon learns there is not going to be any backup. The people that were going to pull them out of that situation were blown to smithereens, no hope of salvation. The fear of the worst thing that could happen is in fact going to happen. Or how about depicting the hole that is left from someone who has departed? So you can show the significant other, what they do, what their life is like after they have lost someone, or what happens to the family, or what happens to the significant other who meets with the family of the one who is lost. Or how about the sympathetic murder? This is where the protagonist has to kill one of their favorite people. Someone has been mortally wounded and is begging to have the protagonist end their life. Then there's the ultimate sacrifice. This is where the hero wins in the end, but by sacrificing their own life. So basically, they realize they have the one chance to save everyone else, and they go ahead and jump off that cliff. They throw themselves into the nuclear reaction or whatever it takes, and everyone sees them burned to pieces in the great resolution. The victim is mistaken as a monster. Look at the movie E.T. This is where, or Frankenstein, everyone's freaking out. Everyone has their rakes and torches out. It's a terrible monster, but really it's a victim who's dying and needs to get back to the home planet. I think those are enough examples for now. I think that's plenty that we can all enjoy mulling all of this over and contemplating these different fictional scenarios as ways to understand the human condition. Fiction is about the powers that be. It's about showcasing these different power formulas, and tearjerkers are just examples of those. So enjoy them. What do they teach us about human psychology? What do they teach us about our own lives? How do they help us see the real world around us a little bit better and appreciate that everyone around us are living lives that are just as important to them as our own lives are immensely important to us? I'll probably continue with this. I'll bring you more tearjerkers in the future and other scenarios that have proven to work very well in fiction. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my videos and want to get me back, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, get the link out, get this video link out there through Twitter, Reddit, and other web link aggregates. Please, if you have the time, go check out the illustrated episodic story I'm working on called Terrible Immunity. You can see it at solomation.com. I hope you have some great creative sessions ahead. I hope your writing goes well, and have a good day.